Today we're looking at the Rubik's 2x2 speed cube. Actually, my bad, it's just Rubik's speed. I'm pretty sure this is called a Rubik's speed cube, but I looked on the entire box and I have not found any mention of that besides this little RSC down here. Rubik's speed sounds like a superpower that only some people get to have. After years of training, I have finally achieved Rubik's speed. I forgot to work on my Rubik's stamina. Well, this is unusual. Would you look at the time? It's been a while filming and I still haven't actually opened the box. But since this is the genuine Rubik's Cube, you know, made by a Chinese company just like all these other ones were, since this is the real deal, there's just so much to go over. Like, they've got a new tile design. I feel like every time they have a new tile design. And it will help me effortless turn. Revolutionary speed cube design co-developed with recording breaking GAN cube. So this cube is not just made by Rubik's, as you've seen what happens when Rubik's makes a speed cube. Wait, hang on, I gotta turn another cube first. So you have to trust me that I'm not affecting the volume on this at all. This is legitimately what it sounds like. I swear this is not being edited. So if this is telling you it's a Rubik's speed cube and that makes you think, it might not be so good, keep in mind this cube is a collaboration between Rubik's and GAN. And if you didn't know, GAN is one of the Chinese companies that makes great speed cubes that Rubik's has been competing with for a long time, saying that these are knockoffs. And you know what they say, if you can't beat them, join them. But it's stuff like this that I would expect from a Chinese company that I would not expect from Rubik's, and that makes me think they didn't even proofread this box. They just took one look and said, yeah, that's good. Okay, let's actually open this thing now. Wow, these tiles are definitely tough. Yeah, it's like a really smooth and sandy sort of feel. Maybe that's just an out-of-the-box sort of thing, because that's actually kind of common. But I kind of like this as the feel, although I wouldn't say I like its performance too much. It locks up a lot more than I'm expecting it to. I know one thing Rubik's likes to get across is quality, and if you were a new cuber and you just started turning this, you would say, wow, this is amazing, way better than any other 2x2 I've had. And one thing that makes something appear like lack of quality control would be pops or twists. So a pop is unlikely on a 2x2 for a piece to just pop out, but a corner twist is very common, and on this one, okay, for some reason this one twisted real easily. I was about to praise them and say, wow, I couldn't twist this one. Maybe this is like the main 2x2 piece and all the other ones can twist. Yeah, so this is, usually I expect some performance sacrifice for like that sort of quality improvement, but for some reason this one doesn't. It's like really easy to corner twist. If anything is low quality right now, it's probably me because I don't remember my algorithms. Okay, let's just do this in 2 looks. Okay, I think I remember this. Yes, I just solved a 2x2. It actually took me so many tries just to get one decent solve where I actually knew what the algorithm was. It kind of does make me want to practice 2x2 more, but not enough to actually do it. Actually, I think I was being hard on this. It is pretty darn good. I was just getting some more lockups than usual. Pretty sure I can like do all my algorithms really fast on this. Yeah, I think I was wrong in the beginning. My standards for 2x2 have gone so far up that I'm just not used to any cube that isn't like almost perfect. So most of the time, absolutely zero problems. It's just sometimes I run into like a bigger lockup than usual. And that's the only thing getting me. But, you know, for most of my turns here, it's still pretty great. So this is actually a really good 2x2. If this was purely a Rubik's brand cube, there's a lot of things I would look at here and maybe laugh at, because Rubik's is kind of doing their own thing while the speed cubing community has the, you know, the Chinese companies doing their thing. For example, the size of the cube, the corner cutting, and just the mechanism of how it works. This one seems to be fine in all of them. I can quickly try corner cutting. There you go, 45 degrees. And the size of the cube is slightly smaller than some other cubes, but still a very acceptable size. There are definitely some speed cubes out there of this size. How this feels to me is really different from the other situation we've seen with the 3x3. So again, this is the 3x3 by GAN, and this is the 3x3 by Rubik's. And then there's the collaboration, which is the Rubik's Speed Cube, that's by GAN and Rubik's, and this is like, I mean, it looks like the Rubik's, it performs more like the GAN, but it does feel like it's sort of in between them and it doesn't really like sway too far in either direction. So it kind of has a GAN mechanism, but it's a little different and it just ends up being like not super great, like still pretty good, but not amazing. So I guess that's what happens when you mix these two together. Now for the 2x2, it feels like the only Rubik's thing about it is the logo, and the tiles on it. Also, all the stuff on the box, I just want to come back to this for a second. So like this stuff and all the talking about how great it is, that seems a really Rubik's sort of thing. But for some reason, this box really gives me the vibe of like two people who worked on a project together who are both like passively aggressively trying to say that they were the one who did more of the work. We have Rubik's speed right here, and then we're talking about record-breaking GAN cube, and then here's reinvented for speed cubing, genuine Rubik's cube, and then GAN technology. Rubik.com/speed, GANcube.com/RSC. They're naming them two different things. And then down here, manufacturers, like, oh yeah, this was made by GAN, but Rubik's, we're just using their license. And then this part is really confusing. This is like asking two parents for permission. Mom, can I play with this? I'm 5 years old. No, you can't. Dad, can I play with this? Yeah, you're over 36 months. So this isn't the only Rubik's 2x2 I'll be reviewing this video. I have another one. Only experienced Rubik's Cube solvers will tell you what's wrong with this. Once upon a time, it was around 2011, and my classmate showed me this cube and asked me to solve it. I took it home, started turning it, and it popped, and I could not put it back together. So as all of my Rubik's stories go, I ended up at Toys R Us and bought another one just for my friend to be able to give one back to him and tell him, I didn't do anything wrong with your cube, here it is solved. He said, thanks, bye, thought nothing of it, and I was left with this disassembled cube at home. After I finally got it back together, I started turning it again, and it just broke again. So this is the thing I bought at Toys R Us. I don't know how much I paid for it, and I'm glad I don't know that because I would be very sad for paying any amount of money for this. Hopefully this is not the one that they still sell. It can just be a relic of the past until I made a video about this. It actually turns okay for the most part. Like, it's not too hard to get it misaligned until you slightly misalign it. Now, if I push it this way, that's gonna get caught, right? So that doesn't work at all. Now you might be wondering, what if you go the other way? Things will definitely be okay, right? Yeah, sometimes it's okay. Now if you're a speed cuber, you think we should go further, see how much it can corner cut. Well, that's a very dangerous game. All right, let's try it here. Are you ready? Ah, the perfect opportunity to teach you about what is actually wrong with the inside of this cube. There are no springs or anything flexible inside this. This is entirely plastic. Now for this to be possible to have the cube assembled and disassembled with the entire thing being completely inflexible, that means that you need to snap pieces in really hard in order to get it to slightly bend, and that can break the pieces if you take this cube apart and put it back together enough times. Okay, now let me show you why this is such a pain to put back together. I have 4 pieces that go on the other side. I don't know what color goes there. I think it's green. Yeah, there's no green here, so green goes across from yellow, which is so weird. So to make a 2x2 solvable, I just need green facing up on the rest of the pieces, so we'll start with this one. This thing here is sort of like an edge piece on a 3x3. So the way a 2x2 generally works is, so here is a 3x3 edge corner, and on a 2x2 same thing, except the edges are so small and inside and the corners are so big and outside that you can't see the edges anymore. So I think I'm just supposed to put on 2 edge pieces and then put the corner on top of them. That wasn't so hard now, was it? And besides just getting this on top of the 2 edge pieces here, like this, see how it doesn't go all the way down here? Because you also need it to fit along the side here because of this little thing, you need it to like go along the tracks. So what I'm actually supposed to do is get this edge piece off to the side, get it attached, and then slide it all in at once. And now you can see why the last piece is going to be so hard. There's nothing that can move here. How this last piece goes in, if you try to slide it in. Oh my god, I was trying to be calm, I am so mad. Each time I went to pick up the pieces again, this time I actually couldn't find it. Here is an unmoving picture of the frame I had before disaster struck. I was going to slide it on top and then show you how the remaining part wouldn't go in, but you just have to like bend the plastic and force it on. That's what you're supposed to do to get it all back together. I think they just never intended for the cube to be taken apart. I mean, fair enough, there's nothing you can do to customize it, but with how easy it is to make this cube completely explode, that was just a huge oversight. And the cube is tiny, which makes the reassembly much harder. That's about as much as I can take of the old Rubik's 2x2. I actually like the new one. I don't think it's nearly the best by any means, but it's a lot better than I expected. I don't know what actually happened, but it does feel a lot like GAN just made a great 2x2 and slapped Rubik's name on it. Check out these videos if you want to see me unbox more ridiculous Rubik's brand cubes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. The box says the tough tiles won't fade, so I'm gonna put this in direct sunlight for a couple of years and see what happens.